Alright, hello everybody, my name is Megan. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're trying, then welcome back. If you cannot tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and do that eyeshadow tag that's been running around. The eyeshadow palette tag, I think. It was created by Samantha and Allie Glines. I think they did a collab on it. I'm not positive about that, but that is my knowledge of the origin of this tag. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna have a bunch of questions that I'm gonna answer and show you guys the eyeshadow palettes that correlate. Fairly self-explanatory. I am taking out one question and kind of putting in a new one, but that's fine because it's my video and I can do whatever I want. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Also, some of these I have like doubles, so I'm just gonna make it work. We're just gonna go with it. So, ooh, wait a second. I messed up. Oh, well, it's fine. We're just gonna have one that's gonna be edible. It's okay. So, I guess we're gonna start off. I have my questions on my phone. And so we're gonna start off with the most affordable eyeshadow palettes, which is also my newest eyeshadow palettes. I recently picked up the e.l.f. bite-size little eyeshadow quads. I picked up all 8, so here we are with 8 of them. But yeah, they are $3 each for 4 shades, and they're really good quality. I've tried a couple of them. I haven't tried out every single color. I haven't tried out every single palette, but the ones that I have tried have been super blendable and buttery and really pigmented. So that one is Cream and Sugar. I'm not going to show you guys all of them, but I'll show you a handful. I'm sure you guys have seen them all by now. This one is the Pumpkin Pie. I think this one is really nice. I have not used it yet, but I'm very excited to. But this one is the, I think it's just called Hot Jalapeno. There we go. So yeah, like I said, they're all super duper buttery. I mean, at least the ones that I've tried, but presumably they'd all be about the same. I haven't heard anything from anybody saying that like, oh, this one's horrible. So yeah, from what I've tried so far, they've been really great. And like I said, they are $3. So they're definitely the most affordable eyeshadow palettes I have. Next is my most expensive. And so this one was absolutely, without a question, my Natasha Denona Gold palette. This is absolutely gorgeous. I have used it quite a bit. You can't really tell. But when I was living in Boston for a couple years ago, this was my everyday go-to eyeshadow palette, and I used the crap out of this. But like I said, you literally cannot tell. But yeah, so this retails for $129, which is ridiculous. I bought it on a VIB sale, so it was like just over $100 instead. And I used a couple gift cards. So no way I would buy this not on sale. But yeah, that is definitely my most expensive eyeshadow palette. Third on this list, I have my everyday palette, which I'm gonna have to go with the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop. I'm sure by now everyone has seen this one as well. This is a newer palette to me, but it's been out for quite some time. But it's just a very cool-ish, neutral undertone, everyday brown eyeshadow palette. I think the colors are really blendable. I've used this quite often in the little bit of time that I've had it. Trying to not blind you there. But yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure, and it's definitely an easy go-to everyday eyeshadow palette. Fourth on the list is the most colorful palette. So this, okay, we're gonna move some things around. In terms of ratio of like color to numbers of shadows in the palette, I guess, this NYX Ultimate Edit is my most colorful palette. I have not had the chance to like actually make a look with this. I've only swatched it, and so far they've seemed pretty pigmented. But yeah, we've been inside, and I guess that's kind of a good time to play around with your makeup, but I haven't gotten this much playing around done. But yeah, in terms of like, you know, there's 6 pans and 6 colorful shades. This is my most colorful palette. However, my most colorful palette also fits in with a different category, so we're just gonna make it work. So here we go. This is my most colorful, I guess, for the time being. It's fun. Next on the list is the smallest eyeshadow palette, which is also going to have to be these e.l.f. bite-size ones. Like I said, it's a 4-pan palette, so I don't have anything smaller than that. But I already talked about those, so we're gonna go ahead and pass that for now. Next, I have my biggest palette, which everything else is laying on top of. So give me 1 second. Which is the James Charles Morphe palette. This thing is massive, like absolutely gigantic. So let's open this bad boy up. And looks like this on the inside. So this one is my most colorful palette in terms of just like, it's obviously the most colorful. But I did want to throw something else into this tag, which is why I picked the other one, because in terms of colors per like to pan ratio, that one has the most colors, however, because this one has a lot more neutrals, but this one is definitely my most colorful palette. And also my largest, so here we go. Next I have my Best Memory palette. So this is not the first high-end palette I bought, it is the second high-end palette I bought, and I bought it the day after I bought the first. So this one is the Urban Decay Naked Original palette. I still use this. Probably shouldn't, considering I think I got it 8 years ago. But it just, I mean, I'm sure by now everybody's seen what the inside of the Naked palette looks like. It's just a classic natural neutral palette. But yeah, my dad was at a conference, and so at Disneyland, so the entire family went to Disneyland. And there's Sephora in downtown Disney, and so I went in one day, and I remember doing so much research the night before on like which Naked palette did I want, because I wanted to buy one and I had the ability to. I had saved up my money, and like I was gonna go into that Sephora and I was gonna buy the Naked palette. And so I did all my research on it, and I bought the Naked 2, which I loved. I do love a cool tone eyeshadow look, but I got it and I was like, oh, I really want the Naked 1. And so, like I said, I had saved up quite a bit of money, and I was also like 14. No, if it was 2012, it would have been 12. I think it was like 2014. I have no idea. Sometime in between there, maybe 2012 to 2014. So we're gonna say 2013. But yeah, so I went in literally the next day, because that was my only other time to get this. And I was like, you know what? I have the money for it. I saved up, and so I bought my Naked 2 and then my Naked 1. But yeah, I did get rid of the Naked 2 a little while back. But I did keep the Naked 1. Obviously, I have it right here. And so yes, this is the second palette high-end that I ever bought, but it's the oldest one that I have now. So this is my Best Memory palette. So next on the list is Most Worth the Hype, which I am going to have to give this one to, I have it in the box. For some palettes, I just keep them in the box. Don't know why I do that. But this one is the Pure Raw Beauty Christie palette. For those who have not seen it, it has one colorful side. I also, with some palettes, keep the little protectors in. This is one of them. So this is the colorful side, and then this is the neutral side. This palette has been raved about, and I originally wasn't gonna pick it up. I was like, oh, you know what, like, I don't really need another eyeshadow palette. Like, I'm not, you know, like I have so many eyeshadow palettes. I don't need another one, especially since this side is fairly warm toned, you know, and then the other side is very colorful, and I'm not a huge colorful eyeshadow person, but like, you know, I'm just not gonna get it. And then I saw it, like, it came back up, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll buy it, and I bought it, and I love it. I use it quite frequently. But yeah, so this is one that is definitely worth the hype. I strongly recommend it if you're still able to get it, because I know it was limited edition, but then they like kept bringing it back, kept doing restocks. So if you're able to pick it up, I would suggest it. It's beautiful. Next is Not Worth the Hype. So this one I had some trouble with, just because I feel like my eyeshadow palettes that I had that were not worth the hype, I've decluttered them. So the one that I have that I haven't decluttered, which I don't know why, like, I don't really use it. It's nice, like, I don't know, is the Kylie Jenner, one of the Kylie Jenner palettes. This one is the Sorta Sweet palette. I know that these aren't like raved about, you know, it's not like it's in everybody's favorites or all that stuff. And I know that like currently there's not a lot of hype around it, but the weird thing about this brand is that like as their products come out, there's usually like a bunch of hype around. It's like, oh my god, these are so great, blah, blah, blah. And then if that's like it, and like no one talks about them ever again. So I did pick this one up. It was on sale and I really wanted to try out one of her eyeshadow palettes. So this one just seemed like it would be the best fit for me. And like I said, I do like the colors in it. I just don't find myself reaching for it. So I guess for that reason, this one's gonna have to be my not worth the hype palette. So the next question is favorite palette from a favorite brand, but I don't really have one for that. I just have, you know, all my brands are this and that, and I pick from kind of everything. So it's not like I have, like, this is my all-time favorite brand and this is my favorite palette. So I decided to skip that one, and I instead replaced it with a palette that I've had that I haven't used, but I want to. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, it makes sense to me. So it's just like, it's a palette that I've had in my collection for a little bit. I bought it when I got the Going Coconuts one, and I just haven't found myself using it yet, although looking at it, I really, really want to. And so this is the ColourPop Wild Nothing palette. I love this packaging. I think it's gorgeous. I love the colors on the inside. I think they're gorgeous. I love the like warm kind of like corally tones. However, I did get this going into fall, so these aren't like super fall tones to me. But I've swatched them all. They're gorgeous shadows. They have really great payoff. I love the way the palette looks. I want to use the palette, but I just haven't used it yet. And all the days that I was gonna be like, oh yeah, tomorrow like I'll like do this look with this kind of thing, and then I just ended up like not wearing makeup that day because I said like, why bother? So that's kind of how this palette's gone. But I really want to use it. I love the colors in it. Honestly, as soon as I saw this was released, I was like, I need that in my collection. So I bought it and I haven't used it yet, but I want to. So I'm not like writing it off or anything yet. So that's that. And then lastly, I have my most used palette, which for this one, I'm going to go with my most used recently. By all means, it's not like my most used in my entire collection. Out of all of these, I'd probably say the Going Coconuts one is. However, I haven't been reaching for this one lately just because I haven't been wearing a lot of eyeshadow lately. But when I have been, I've been trying to do a little more of like a cooler toned look. So I have finally touched into my Milani Soft and Sultry palette. This packaging is like, you can see all my fingerprints on it, so just like ignore that. There we go. But this is what it looks like. It's a really, really pretty neutral, cool toned palette. So this is what I have been reaching for the most recently. It's what I have on my eyes today. Today is not a good makeup day, so like, let's not critique it. I think my concealer's the wrong shade. My highlighter is a little too dark. Like, I was trying out a bunch of products today and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But yeah, I think that these shadows are really pigmented, really nice on the eyes. They're super easy to blend out. I really like them, and like I said, it is a cooler toned palette, which is something that I just don't have a lot of. But yeah, so as of recently, this is my most used palette. However, honestly, all of these palettes, with the exception of the Kylie Jenner one and the Wild Nothing one, because I haven't used this one yet, they've all pretty much been equally well loved and well used within my collection. So yeah, that is all that I have. I'm sitting on a bunch of these little eyeshadow palettes now because they all slid underneath me. Okay. All right, so that is everything. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I would appreciate you giving it a thumbs up, or if you didn't, I guess a thumbs down is okay too, but like, I prefer a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you feel like you want to. So yeah, make sure you subscribe if you would like to see more of me. I'm not sure why you would, but I'm not going to judge, to each their own. And so yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you are, whatever it is. And yeah, I'll see you next time.